When Season 9 of Counting Cars kicked off on June 3, 2020, Horny Mike was nowhere to be seen. 20 minutes into the premiere, fans were already asking questions. The man who had been a fixture at Count's Customs since before the cameras ever showed up had simply vanished from the screen. No explanation, no warning, just an empty seat where one of the show's most recognizable personalities used to be. But when Mike finally did appear, he wasn't doing anything car-related. He was huddled over the shop's brand new 3D printer, constructing a helmet. Ryan Evans, the shop's lead painter, found him there and asked the obvious question. When was he going to use that expensive machine for actual car parts, something Danny could actually justify? Mike's answer was completely on brand. I had to figure out how it worked. It's not just plug and play. That moment tells you almost everything you need to know about Mike Henry. Not his nickname, not the horns. What it tells you is that even after years in the spotlight, even after becoming one of the most recognizable faces in car customization television, this is still a man who operates entirely on his own frequency. The bigger question, though, is how a kid who grew up in a Michigan trailer park and spent part of his life living out of a van wound up in that position at all, and what's happened to him in the years since Counting Cars went dark. Michael Henry was born in California, but grew up on the outskirts of Detroit, Michigan. He's been unusually candid about those early years. In a 2017 interview with the Philippine Star, he described himself plainly. "I'm a dirty white guy who used to live in a trailer park in Michigan. I lived in a van after graduating high school. I can't believe that I'm known all over the world now." The airbrushing started in high school. He was making personalized t-shirts for classmates, turning a creative outlet into a small side business before he had any formal training. That skill was portable in a way that very few trades are, and Mike leaned on it hard, especially because his living situation required flexibility. After graduating, he moved to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, where he airbrushed souvenirs for tourists. Then Las Vegas, working Fremont Street in the old downtown, painting t-shirts and license plates for whoever walked by. It was a hustle, and it was paying the bills, but it wasn't a career. He tried to upgrade. He attempted to open his own car and motorcycle repair shop back in Michigan, but he has never sugarcoated how that ended. "I ran it badly," he said directly. "It didn't work out. I had to move on. You learn as you go." That failure pushed him back toward Las Vegas. And that's where the story takes the turn nobody saw coming. What most viewers never knew is that Horny Mike was part of Count's Customs before Season 1 of Counting Cars ever aired. He didn't audition for a TV show. He was already there, already part of the crew, when History Channel came to film at Danny Coker's Las Vegas shop in 2012. That distinction matters. Mike wasn't a personality cast to fill a role. He was a working member of the shop who happened to end up in front of a camera, and his personality did the rest. His airbrush work stood out immediately. While he could handle everything from custom builds to paint jobs, what set him apart was his obsession: horns. He put them on helmets, on cars, on clothing, on anything he could get his hands on. The 3D printed versions came later, but the impulse was always there. Danny Coker recognized early on what Mike brought to a project, and also recognized the limits. Mike has spoken openly about the fact that his style didn't always match customer preferences. His instinct was always to push further, to make things louder, more elaborate. In a custom shop where the paying client gets the final say, that meant learning when to hold back. It's a tension that ran quietly through his entire time on the show. Still, the nickname stuck, the fan base grew, and Mike became one of the few cast members whose absence from a single episode caused viewers to flood social media with concern. If there is one project that captures exactly who Horny Mike is, it's the build he called the Jaw Dropper. It started as a 2005 Harley-Davidson electric glide bagger, already a heavy, substantial motorcycle. Mike's vision transformed it into something that had no real comparison in the custom world. He fabricated and installed 4.5-foot animatronic horns. He built a moving jaw into the front of the machine. He added a mechanism that allowed the bike to spit liquid on command. The build took the 3D printing technology Mike had been learning, the same printer Ryan Evans found him obsessing over instead of doing car parts, and applied it to a project that could only have come from his specific imagination. When completed, the Jaw Dropper wasn't just a showpiece. It functioned, it moved, it performed, and it reflected something about Mike that the quieter moments on Counting Cars didn't always make obvious. This is someone who treats every piece of material as a canvas, and who genuinely cannot stop at good enough. That same commitment extended to his personal car collection. Sources report he accumulated more than 80 vehicles over the years, a number he himself admitted made little practical sense. "I don't need them," he once said about his car obsession. He bought them anyway. The helmets became a standalone business. Custom horn helmets, apparel, and original artwork, all sold independently of the show. It wasn't a massive operation, but it was his, built entirely around an aesthetic that anyone who told him to dial it back never fully understood. Counting Cars ran for 10 seasons on History Channel, from 2012 through 2020, and then stopped. There was no dramatic announcement, no public falling out between cast and network. The show simply reached the end of its run. Ratings had declined in the later seasons, and Danny Coker moved on to other projects. Counts Kustoms, however, never closed. The shop that made the show possible continued operating, taking clients, doing builds, and hosting fans who came specifically because of what they'd seen on television. For Mike, the end of filming didn't change much about his day-to-day life. He was at the shop before the show started, and he remained at the shop after it ended. What did change was what he was building. In December 2022, he announced he was raffling off his 2016 Dodge Challenger, with proceeds going to charity. By late 2022 and into 2023, he was deep into a vintage Corvette build that would carry through years of work. In January 2025, Counts Kustoms confirmed new design work and fabrication was still underway on that Corvette project, meaning the build had been active for at least 2 years with no sign of stopping. That's not unusual for Mike. A project ends when the vision is complete, not when a deadline arrives. By December 2024, Mike was still actively meeting visitors at Counts Kustoms, still welcoming the fans who showed up hoping to see the shop in person. In June 2025, the official Counts Kustoms Facebook page shared a characteristic update. Mike had undergone a procedure called scalp micropigmentation at the attached Counts Tattoo Company, which he described, with his usual humor, as a head tattoo. Days later, he appeared in group photos taken at the shop, looking entirely like someone who had no intention of going anywhere. That same year, Danny Coker launched a new project called Counts Culture, a talk show covering motors, music, and counterculture, released on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube beginning March 31, 2026. The broader Counts Kustoms world continued to expand even without a television home. Where Mike fits into that next chapter is still unfolding. But the documented record suggests someone who has simply continued doing exactly what he was doing before anyone gave him a camera, building things, painting things, putting horns on things, and being completely unbothered by the expectation that he should do otherwise. He told an interviewer in 2017 that he couldn't believe the world knew his name, coming from a trailer park in Michigan, coming from a van, coming from airbrushing tourist t-shirts on Fremont Street for whatever cash he could make that day. The distance between those two versions of Mike Henry is the actual story. There's something worth sitting with in the arc of Mike Henry's life, not just how far he traveled, but how little of his core identity changed along the way. He was putting horns on things before Counts Kustoms. He was figuring out machines before anyone handed him a television platform. The show gave him an audience, but it didn't create who he was. It just pointed a camera at someone who had always operated this way. As of mid-2026, Mike remains connected to Counts Kustoms, his Corvette build is ongoing, and the shop itself continues to run in Las Vegas. The Counting Cars era is over in terms of new episodes, but the shop and the people in it are still very much in operation. He went from sleeping in a van to becoming one of the most recognizable faces in custom car television. And when the cameras stopped rolling, he stayed right where he was. Whether or not you think his style is your taste, the question worth asking is this: could you have stayed committed to something that strange, that specific, and that entirely your own, for as long as he has?